Hi everyone, Donna McElvaney here, and today we are going to be doing planned pooling with Red Heart with Love in Lemon Drop. And so I've checked the size of what size crochet hook that it suggests, and it says a 6.5 millimeter, a K, which is just crazy because I've never done it with a K before. So I had originally pulled out my G, my H, my I, and my J, because most of the times it says an I or an H hook, but never a K. So I've got my K out, and we're going to go ahead and begin with that. Let me pull some yarn out here. I've never done lemon drop before. I had almost bought it last year whenever there was whenever I was buying a whole bunch of pulling yarns, and I'm having a hard time with this one pulling it out, so this is going to be nasty. But I bought a whole bunch of different ones, and I didn't buy lemon drop. I just kind of figured that it would be there, and I'd be able to pick it up anytime. And my Walmart, yeah, not pretty. Then my Walmart no longer carries it, so I was like, well, great, what am I going to do now? So I went to, my son was wrestling this weekend for the state championship, and was in a bigger city far away from home. So I went to that Walmart, and lo and behold, I found lemon drop, and I'm having a horrible time with this one. Oh, I'm sure you guys can relate with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one that this has happened to. And I may say forget it and start pulling from the outside, because I've done messed this up big time. But I'm going to pull it out here, see if I can find a starting point from the middle, because I like the middle, but wow, I just really like almost split it in half. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so now trying to find where this begins. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, what a mess I've made. And of course, my worst mess would be for a video that I'm trying to do. That's just awesome. All right, so I've got this huge pile of yarn sitting beside me, and trying to get to the starting part here. Oh, goodness sakes. So my son got 5th in state for wrestling for 170 pounds. Last year he got 6th in state, so I'm pretty proud of him. Sad that's over. This is his senior year. But so proud of him. He did so well. He battled through injuries and illnesses and did awesome. Okay, I have found the beginning point. All right, so we're gonna start with K, because that's what it says to begin with. So we're gonna try that. All right, so I'm just gonna crochet through here. I absolutely love lemon drop. I've been wanting to do it for a while now. And somebody had asked me if I'd done it yet, or if I had gotten it, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick it up while I was out of town. All right, so I'm just chaining through here to find the repeating pattern. Okay, so it looks like it's white, yellow, white, gray, dark gray, gray, white, yellow, white, gray, dark gray, and gray. Okay. So it just really also depends on where you want it to begin. If you want your pattern to have the yellow in the middle, you can actually do it that way. You'd have to start at a different starting point. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with the white, yellow, white being the beginning. I'm going to do the moss stitch. 1, 2, I go into the third one. I don't count this one on the hook, so I'll do 1, 2, third from the hook. You can do 4th from the hook. And I'm going with the K. I'm not sure I'm comfortable using the K hook, but so far so good. Alright, so I'm doing a single crochet, chain 1, and then I skip 1 and go into the next one. Let's see here, that's 3, but then going into this next, it's kind of split there. So I probably need to loosen that up. I'm only going to get 2 yellow stitches out of it. Make sure I'm going to the right spot here. Try to loosen it up a little bit. Either that or I'm going to drop hook size. And I would get 3 out of it. But right now I'm just using my regular tension and just chaining through using the suggested size on the label. Very pretty colors. Alright, and I am doing the moss stitch across, going with I'm going through 1 color sequence. I've done so many of these videos, I don't really go into much of beginner mode in some of them. I just carry on, since so many of y'all have also already seen my videos. And I realize that some haven't, and you're new to pulling for the first time. Alright, so I've gone through 1 sequence here, and then now I'm back to the white again, where the white begins white, yellow, white. So what I want to do to make it offset 1 stitch is I can do several things here. But since I only have 2 of each color, I'm going to go with the variation where we remove 1 stitch and then we chain up and we begin with the next color. So in order to begin with the white, I'm going to have to eat up more yarn here. Sometimes we won't have to do that, but here I'm definitely going to have to. So I removed a 2nd stitch, and I'm going to do a modified puff stitch to eat up some of this color. And now I can begin the 2nd row with white. This is how we offset. So I'm going to have 2 of every color. We're going into the chain spaces. 2 of every color. And I'm going fairly loose. Two of every color. I really like having the same number. Don't have to worry about anything with it. 2 of every color makes it simple. And then gray. Pull that over. Make sure I didn't split it in the back. So there's 1 light gray. And then my 2nd light gray needs to land here. And then right here by this row, by the time you get to this row, you will start to see your color shifting. Alright, so, but I need to have this gray one land. This is my non-tail side. So I don't have a long tail over here. So on this side, all my color counts have to land. All my legs have to land on this side. So I'm going to tighten this up a bit. So there's 1 gray, turn it, and 2 gray. On my other side over here, I only have 1 gray. My other gray was ate up into the turning chain. So I had 1 and 2, and then I began with the white. So on the long tail side, 1 of your color counts is going to be ate up in the turning chain. But on this side, all your legs have to land, meaning that all of your color counts, all your stitches are going to count as stitches. Alright, so we have gray here, and I have white here. I have my 2 white stitches. So my first white stitch is going to land right here. 1 shifted over from this first one. And that is how to make sure that you're going to be doing the correct argyle pattern. So see, I've got the 2 white, and now my 2 yellow. So this is my first yellow. So my first yellow stitch will land right here, and my second one will be here. So we're going to be shifted over by 1. By your third row, this is your third row right here. By this row right here, you will see your argyle pattern. And you have to make sure as you come out of the turn that your colors are landing in the correct place that they're supposed to land. This one is nice and easy. I know that not all die lots are the same. Not all stitch count will be the same. This is the first lemon drop that I've had, so I don't know how any of y'all's have worked out or any ones that y'all have. Hopefully it's as easy as this one because this is easy breezy. Okay, so here I did not have to do a modified puff stitch to eat up. Yes, I am. Okay. No, I'm not. Alright, so I've got, there's 2 whites here, and then my other 2 whites are right here, which is great. Gray, gray. And then this is a dark gray. So whenever I was crocheting, it looked kind of like gray. And I was just busy talking and didn't pay attention that this subtle color change went into my dark gray. So I need to only land 1 of the lighter gray stitches here so that my dark gray stitch, so that my white stitch, okay, because we're white here, so light gray stitch here. Forgive me, I'm getting all tongue-tied today. All right, if I keep going here, I'm gonna have a second gray stitch land here, and if that happens, I'm going to be shifted over by 2 colors. My 2 whites, I'm going to go ahead and do it so you see. This is why we have to eat up a stitch in the turning chain, because if I keep going, we're going to be shifted over now by 2, and now this side will stack. Not stack, I'm sorry, this side will be over by 2. I'm really tongue-tied today. All right, so we have to eat up 1 of our stitches in the turning chain. So I'm going to do a modified puff here to eat up some of the extra yarn. So whenever I do my modifieds, it's kind of a puff stitch, but it's not completely. So I go in like I'm going to do a single crochet. I yarn over, instead of pulling through, I'm going to go through that hole again and pull up another, and then pull all through all the loops. Chain 2, turn, and a single crochet, and now we're going to be offset by 1 stitch, and that's where we need to be. 1 and 2. Alright, so now yellow, and our yellow is here. 1 and 2, making it a little more loose. This is the first time I've used a K-hook for a pulling project, and it's going fine. It's not that the yarn is really thick or anything, but it's pulling great. Alright, so my light gray, flipping over, making sure I don't have a muddy leg there, and I don't. Alright, so then dark gray here, and then another dark gray here. Chain 2, this is my non-tail side, so my leg's gotta land on this side. All my stitches count. A stitch is not going to be ate up in the turning chain on this side. So I need 2 of the light grays to land so that my white starts right here. So then my white is going to be here, and that's where you want it to be. just continue going. And here's the long tail side, so I need to eat up one of my stitches. And since it's been pretty regular so far, I'm going to go ahead and do the modified puff and chain 2 and take a look at it and make sure I'm right here. So I've got 2 light gray stitches that will be one here and one here, and then the white one will be here, and that is correct. I always like to stop and look in the turns to make sure that I am landing them properly. And that's right where I need to be. Continue on with the 2 colors of each one. Have not felt well this weekend. That's another reason why I'm a bit tongue-tied, and I'm kind of wore out from my weekend travels with my boy, and it was an emotional roller coaster for sure. Alright, so on this end here, as you saw, I just did the one dark gray stitch here, I chained 2, and my second dark gray stitch is here. Turn it and check it. And then 2 of the lighter grays. Because the non-tail side, all your stitches have to count. One of them is not counted in the turning chain. And as you can see too, it's laying nice and flat. It's not curving this side over here, even though like you can see the puff stitches on the side, but they don't look bad. If I wanted to change it and not have done the puff stitch on the side, I would have, the other way to do it is to either add a stitch into one of your colors. So like say the yellow, I had to loosen that up earlier, so I could have chosen to drop the hook size or made it super tight and gotten 3 stitches out of the yellow. That would have made it offset by 1. On like one of these. So like this one here could have been 3 stitches, and this one here still would have had to have remained as 2 stitches. So as you travel it throughout your project, it would have to remain as 3 stitches, and this one here would have to remain as 2. And that is the other way of pulling without having to do modified puffs on the end. Whenever you choose to do that method, then none of your turning chains will count as one of your stitches. So these stitches over here would land the exact same as these stitches over here. You wouldn't have to eat up one in the turning chain. If you'd like me to do a video demonstrating that technique using the lemon drop, just drop me a line and I'd be happy to do a video showing how to pull without the modified puff version. So I'm just going along. I haven't been paying attention to where my colors are landing, and let's see here if I'm off. I might be off. Let's see. I am off. So whenever you're looking at it, I've got these 2 hanging out over here, and they're really not attached to anything. They're not in line in progression anywhere. So I had to go back and see, all right, why is that? These 2 here should have been here and here. So I'm over by 1, and it looks like because I did not eat up a stitch in this turning chain. So I had to take that out. Yep, that's what happened. I had the 2 light grays here, and then I landed 2 dark grays on the top of that. So it shifted my work over one too many. So I'm going to do a modified here, which eats up one of the dark gray stitches, and then I land 1 dark gray stitch. Now I'm going to do 2 of the gray, and look at it and make sure it's right. Here's the grays here. Whenever it starts blending in the middle, it's really hard to differentiate, to really tell where you're going there and which color is supposed to be next. So look towards the outer edges of it. But then your outer edges are also starting to merge quite a bit too. So whenever you only have 2 stitches of each color, when the middle ones start to merge, the ones right beside it merge as well. So then you're really only going to be able to tell whenever you get to the outer edges of it, the next colors that aren't starting to blend. Alright, because see, these are merging as well, so that can make this one a little bit tricky. Okay, so I've landed 2 light gray, and now on this side, the non-tail side, I land the 2 dark gray on top. And I turn it and check, and then here's a dark gray here, so it'll be 1 dark gray here, and then my second dark gray right there. Okay, and then we see the lighter gray, and then so my lighter gray stitch will land here and here. Alright, so I hope these videos help you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to post comments in the questions. I'm also on Facebook. I've met so many people because of my videos, and it's so wonderful to hear from each of you that have messaged me, those that have asked me for help on certain projects. I love being able to help people and stuff, and it took me a while to really get down planned pooling. And once I got it, I realized, what it was that I was struggling with. So I wanted to help other people to catch it and to grasp it and to be able to accomplish it as well. So you can look me up on Facebook, Donna McElvaney, and if you have any problems with it, you can message me, and I'm happy to help. Oh, this is the long tail side, so I'm not paying attention because I'm talking, and I just chained up 2, and I should have had 1 dark gray one land here and my second dark gray one land here, and that's not what I'm doing. Alright, so I have to do the modified puff over here on this side. I want to make sure I don't split that V. Alright, modified puff it. That's just what I call it. Other people have called it the same thing, so I just kind of picked it up. And now they're landing correctly. This one was a super easy one to do, but as you can also see, it was also super easy to get off track of it. Whenever the colors start merging right in the center, with it only being 2 stitches each, it can really cause problems whenever you're trying to follow along with your eye and looking to see where your stitches need to land. So my white is doing good here. All right, no tail side. So both 2 light gray stitches need to land. They need to count. So 1 and 2, and the turning chain does not count. Dark gray, 2 dark gray here, so I'm going to have 2 dark gray here. Very nice pulling yarn to do. So if you would, hit the like button, hit the subscribe to my channel, and if there's a certain color that anyone would like me to do, then just leave a comment, and I will see if I can pick it up and see if I can find it for you. My dogs just came in. They're sneezing and running across the floor. Alright, so this is the long tail side. So I'm going to do a modified puff here to eat up one of those gray stitches. And then only land 1 of the light grays. And then my 2 dark gray. Very pretty piece, very pretty colors. Alright guys, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and contact me, and I'd love to hear from you. And everybody have a great day. God bless and happy pulling.